competitive team, and you can see why they have racked up wins. Aggressive, older. That's an older group. They do a good job of recruiting. Jonathan does a nice job managing the program. The guys play hard. We were fortunate to come out of here with a win tonight. I thought Mason Martinez was the story of how he settled things down in the middle of the game and actually got better as he went. I think, again, I believe I said the same thing in his last outing. It seemed better the last 5-10 pitches, might have been better in the first 5 or 10. I think there was a 96 in there, which is good to see. The breaking ball, both of the breaking balls had good life to them. Threw a couple good change-ups and just settled things down. Kinnear finished it. I thought Peyton Manka is still learning, but you can see it's 90-91, big old guy with the feel for his breaking ball. There's more to be had. I think the 0-2 pitch he left kind of up on the inside half of the plate, and that ball was clearly designed and then location to be buried. But those are valuable learning moments for a guy that's back into this thing and is a talented freshman. Kinnear, dynamic at the end, enough, and life on the fastball, good breaking pitches. Max Williams had a good day. Hopefully that gives him some confidence. He clearly has been pressing the at-bat in the first inning. Sometimes the line-outs and all of the things, we've seen him hit some balls so hard, and now today the wind was pushing the ball. He hit the gap. He got favorable wind, and that thing found the gap and was a big moment. The home run was crushed, and he had some other things go his way, but a line out of 108 or 9 miles an hour, we've seen him do that, it seems like 5 or 6 times. Did enough to win. I felt like we escaped tonight. We did not play our best in any sense defensively. Wasn't quite as clean. The pitching maybe not quite as sharp, but enough. There was enough offense. The at-bats in the one situation where we could have clearly put this away were horrid, and we have to sort through this. I just clearly trying to do too much. But when you get in that moment, the expectation is that you deliver some at-bats that produce some sort of crooked number and damage, and we did not do that. I feel like there are games when you walk off the field and you're frustrated about how things went. Tonight you can feel frustrated, but I feel like we escaped against a very solid team that probably played a better ball game tonight than we did, and we were fortunate to escape with a win.
I guess how confident are you that the guys will learn the lessons from that inning where you load the bases with no outs and push them?
I'm confident. I just don't want them to continue. I'm seeing too much. So we're swinging at pitches. The timing of it is just the antsiness and the eagerness to actually do something. I think they're offering at pitches out of rhythm and then pitches that are, in some cases, quite frankly, well out of the zone. So they're going to have to just settle, and it's a one pitch at a time event, and they cannot go beyond that. And it really doesn't matter where the runners are. Like, if you can establish that kind of approach to it, pitch in and pitch out, you're going to be okay. But the entirety of the offensive thing, when I'm talking to you guys about the quality of the at-bat, it's a pitch-by-pitch approach to mental and physical success, and it's just one pitch at a time. And we have to try to slow this thing down. I felt like some of the at-bats, it sped up, and I don't think there was enough of a thought and a rhythm and a timing to what they were trying to do, like to actually attack the pitches properly. So we're working on it. I know it doesn't feel like it's improved a whole heck of a lot, but again, there was enough, and I feel like you want to sometimes enjoy the escape if that's possible, and try to still, like you stated, learn from it. So hopefully we are.
John is obviously going to be a big part of the bullpen and a big part of this team, but what's the key to him finding that consistency, pitch in and pitch out, night in and night out?
Yeah, I don't know why the breaking pitches were backing up on him a little bit. We haven't seen that very often. Coming out of the ramp up into then competition and having multiple outings in a week is new, and I hope that has not worn him down. He seemed to thrive in that a little bit last year, and it had helped us throughout the course of last season, and it helped us this year. There was clearly a little tick down in stuff after the first time or two out. Getting back glove side, being able to execute pitches to his glove side, so into the lefties and away from the righties. I don't know that he had consistent success to the glove side with much of of anything. Maybe a couple of the cutter sliders, but I don't know that his breaking ball, his fastball, or the cutter was consistently there. And when it's there, that seems to be his bread and butter. Now, from my angle, I'm just guessing a little bit on that, but that's what it looked like. He's going to be a key part of this, and maybe the shorter outing. We had plans for more, but that and maybe a little more rest will help him regain some of the sharpness. I don't have a crystal clear answer for you right now.
Mason's a complete four-pitch mix guy now. Just how much have you seen his arsenal develop since he's been here?
Man, it's improved. I think the initial entrance to the game and having the quality stuff from the moment you come in is probably the biggest growth moment for me. Initially, I felt like he wasn't down with it. The last couple of times, it's been in the zone and under the zone and commanded and down, and we knew there were 4 pitches. It seems like it's now the more productive use of all 4, and it's good to see the changeup back in play because you're going to have a mixture of, just like tonight, you're going to have a mix of righties and lefties, and having the changeup as a weapon sure does help neutralize some physical experience left-handed bats that may have honed in on the breaking pitches moving in. So Gray has gotten better in probably all of the outings. If you look at what it looked like first outing to tonight, so that's great. And the use of the 4 pitches and the location has been much better.
What do you feel like is the next step in Nathan's development?
Well, processing what he felt when he was out there. Like when you go through that long of a rehab and you're just thrust back into it for the first time, not to mention your first college outings, that's a lot to absorb as an athlete. So we can try to train and prepare, but now he can feast on that a little bit. And now he knows what happens when you don't execute a breaking pitch to advanced college hitters. It gets banged around. So the difference between the bang around feel and the punch out feel is something he needs to really latch onto and grow from. So how we use him, I don't know how we use him, but he's going to factor in. And each time you step on that field, you learn. And you can't replicate it as much as I talk about how tough the practices are and the scrimmages and the roster. It's hard to duplicate that. So he's a very savvy, intelligent, working kid. He'll take it and run with it.
When you have Jackson, we kind of talked about it, he's hitting these balls so hard, he's getting, good contact. When Max has a night that he has, is that something you could kind of go to Jackson and be like, look, stay consistent, or do you have to kind of try and change his approach a little bit to kind of find the way to get that ball down?
I can't tell you how many times. It happened last night. The line out to short, the line out to short, the line out to second, the line drives to center field. It's tough. I think he's in such a better spot than he was last year. Just the physical setup, the swing, the consistency of what he's doing. He's not seeing the fruits of that right now. So maybe he and Max can talk about it. Like, we're trying to keep it calm. I think the quality of the at-bat overall is completely the opposite of what you might see with the statistics. And that's tough when you're going through it and you look up there and you see what you're hitting and how hard you're hitting some of the balls and what your average feels like and your extra base hits. The tide will turn. You just have to stay with what you're working on and not try to recreate everything and fall into the trap of, and he might have done it tonight in the one at-bat, trying to do a little bit too much. So just settle and stick with it and trust what you're doing, because if you just look at the exit velocities and the quality of the contact, it's pretty good.
Is he still somewhat limited in how much he can or should catch, or are you just trying to aware of how much you want him to catch for the long haul, kind of be protective of?
A little bit of both. Knowing what he was battling, like we kind of pick our moments to ease him back into this thing. And the other 2 guys are very capable. So that's protecting him a little bit as he works back through it. It's a little bit of both.